exiles, right? Economic globalization becoming more unified on the economic front is saying that, hey, I have I have things that you need, but you have things that I need, so we'll buy and sell, we'll trade, and we'll become dependent on one another. And part of the idea was that, like, if we're dependent on one another, maybe we won't go to war with one another. Ideally, right? So, like, what happens on a team when half the team doesn't like the other half? Maybe there's a lot of fighting.
No problem.
Right? There's not a lot of teamwork. There's not a lot of teamwork. Do you think that team wins?
No.
Unnecessary. That felt personal. Okay? No, right? So when countries come into similar situations, like this is like World War I, World War II, and they weren't really dependent on one another, they felt like they didn't need the other one. How they lost was, a lot of their conflicts led to violence, right? Unfortunately for millions of people who died, right? And so kind of part of the idea after World War I, World War II was, how do we make each other a little bit more dependent on one another? How do we also benefit one another more? And another one would have been, how do you lift more people out of poverty, right? Like, how do you give some of this wealth to the rest of the world? Okay. Some of the things that you can stop and consider is, where does your food come from originally? What kind of foods do you think that you consume regularly are grown in Canada?
Apples and carrots.
Apples, perhaps carrots.
A lot of maybe like our fish and meat.
Fish, we have a lot of fish, meat as well. Alberta is known for a particular one. Which one?
Wheat.
Meat, like meat, yeah, beef, right? Bison as well, perhaps. Okay, what else do you think is homegrown in Canada?
Bread, because we have a lot of wheat.
Yeah, we're known for wheat, right? So we can take our wheat, we can turn it into bread. What else? What?
Oil.
Yeah, we can grow a lot of canola, a lot of whatever else that you turn into an oil, right? So we have a lot of things that we can get locally, but there's a lot of things we consume on a regular basis. Like today will have an avocado. Can't grow an avocado in Canada. At least I don't think so. Okay. You need warmth. Okay. You have your hand up. What do you want to add? No. What do we grow and eat in Canada? One thing.
Maple syrup.
No, everybody says maple syrup. Maple syrup's actually like nasty. It's just sugar.
It is.
It's just sugar.
I'd rather have like those cheap syrup.
Cheap what?
Like I forgot, it's like they don't have the black lady on the syrup.
Someone said another one that Canada is well known for. Milk. There you go, right? Milk.
Milk
Right.
in a bag.
Now, yeah, if you go out east where people are weird, their milk's in a bag.
No, I asked for a carton of milk and they didn't know what it was.
Yeah, man, some people legitimately don't know what those things are. A jug of milk, they don't know what a jug of milk is.
Milk in a bag.
Milk in a plastic bag, weird.
It's actually
You cannot tell me that maple syrup is just sugar. It is not. It is painful to make. It's
painful to make,
So
but it tastes
when
good.
maple syrup.
The syrup ain't worth the squeeze. What's up? What were you saying?
It's maple. It's tree sap from a maple tree, simmered down with more sap, simmered down, add more, and repeat the process over and over and over. It's painful.
But like,
It is not.
but like the stuff you buy in the grocery store is like, it's just sugar. And Jemima don't exist anymore.
I know, but
I still got a lot of beer.
Wait, wow, why not? What happened to Aunt? What happened to Aunt Jemima?
The same reason why there's no Uncle Ben anymore.
Why is wait? There's no Uncle Ben no more.
I don't know, people thought it was racist.
How is that racist?
There's still the brand, just
She got
Yeah. Instead, they just removed the black people from the label.
yeah.
Now,
so good.
there are kids born every day who don't know that Aunt Jemima is a black woman and that Uncle Ben's a black
Who
man.
is Ultra?
Yeah, what?
This is outrageous.
Hey, what about the labels on your clothes?
China.
Like, where are your clothes made, right?
China.
Vietnam, right? And a lot of us, we're losing. No, this is getting broken up so quick. This switch shouldn't happen. I should have just left you back there squinting.
This one says.
Oh, I didn't talk.
Yeah. A lot of us look at, but I wasn't even looking at you. Like, come on, focus on eye contact. I was looking at her. Like, I'm not cross-eyed, kids. Like, I'm looking at one spot. Okay. Like, often we think of clothes as, there's no way I said that on camera. Often we look at clothes as finished products, right? So where was your finished product made? Right? Some people said Vietnam. Some people said, did you say Canada? Right? China, right? Parts of Asia. But if you look at the label for your clothes, you'll see like different material.
That's like this cotton was made.
So this one is 100% wool, which was woven in Italy, but it was manufactured in Canada. Right? So another question is like, where does the wool come from? Sheep that live in?
Italy.
No, it's not Italian sheep. Right? Probably like New Zealand has a lot of sheep as well. They're
Well, I
known
mean,
for that.
one says
Right.
no.
A lot of grass-fed dairy products come from New Zealand, right? So you got to look at the whole process, right? Because like one thing, grade 10s, one thing that we often do is just look at the finished product, right? So people might compare like, oh, well, electric-powered cars are better than gas-powered cars because you look at the finished product and how much carbon it puts out. But what about all the process before, right? All the work that goes in getting the minerals for the batteries, for the parts, where those are manufactured, right? Because oftentimes where you get the raw materials is not where you produce the final product, right? Where does that what happens to that raw material? They put it on a
Excavation or a truck or a plane.
a boat. They send it to somewhere to refine it, to reshape it, right? Do something, make it productive. And then they put it on another boat or plane. They send it somewhere else, and then they put the technology in there. And then they take that part, they send it somewhere else, right? All of that is a carbon trail of emissions, right? So a lot of people, it's pretty outrageous. They say like beef is bad for the environment, right? But like, can a cow be worse for the environment than an avocado that was grown in Mexico and flown into Canada and trucked? Right, you gotta look at all these processes, right? And then there's different quality of processes. Did I show you kids that documentary, The Sacred Cow, last year?
No.
Sacred Cow. I showed some of you in my grade 9 class. I don't know who's in my grade 9. Yeah, you remember, right?
I was in your class.
There are different processes that are going on, and those are things you should stop and consider. Grade 10, what is going on here? Okay, just ignore it, right? Like, look away. If you look, you're also weird, right?
Think of it, you're weird.
Yeah. Those are unholy thoughts you're having. Okay, that's, hey, what's up? She's dying. Just smack her back, she's choking. I'm serious, like it helps. Like you're literally just watching her turn into a tomato. Yes, you may go. Okay. Do you see these people sitting here right and left? They would, if you were choking, they would have just let you die. Right? And the people around you, like they're just clueless. They don't even know what's going on. Right? No way, you have such an apathetic look on your face. Okay. Yeah, you okay. What about vehicles, appliances, electronics? You know, where do they get made? Where do they get manufactured? Where do they ship to? Right? Consider these things. If you take it one step further, right, then you look at the resources as well, right? Where do all these parts come from? And that's all economic globalization, right? That's connecting the world and making sure that we all have something to offer, right? So reducing barriers between countries to allow trade has the potential to create more opportunities, but some of the challenges are, you know, you have stratified competition. Do you kids understand what the word stratified means? No, what are you gonna say?
They use strategy.
No,
Do it.
I knew you were gonna say something ridiculous. Grade 10, stratified. What does this word mean?
Country protected.
How come you're all looking like random places? No, this seating plan's getting like nuked tomorrow. Like absolutely nuked. You're all gonna be in places you don't want to be. What's up? What's up?
I miss the old.
What's up?
They get an alliance.
No, where'd you even get that?
Well, I read. It says
Girls,
how-
let's cut it out.
It says how may
Okay, let's-
an underdeveloped country protect itself from a strong corporation.
Okay, let's actually move you
They get help.
back there. There's a desk up here. You can just move. Thank you. What's up?
No, I'm just gonna answer your question.
What do you think stratified means?
Methods or ideas to like better yourself.
That's a strat.
Not necessarily, right? Stratified, so I'm pretty sure I Googled this, but like stratified would mean that like there's layers, right? So for example, like you look at some country, hey, let's go, what are you doing? Okay, move your feet, right? Sure, partly, right? It's kind of like a scientific word as well. So if you look at, remember that video we watched, 200 countries, 4 minutes? Which countries ended up like healthiest and wealthiest? Which area of the world? Japan was one of the better off countries.
Asia and like North America.
Not quite. Most of Asia is doing pretty poor. Which groups of countries? Which region of the world?
Europe and North America.
Europe, North America were some of the better off ones. Which were some of the poorest ones, which are in the worst position?
Asia.
Some Asian countries, many African countries, right? Some Middle Eastern countries as well, right? So that's what I mean by stratified competition. So if you imagine you're running a 100-meter race, and you start at the 0 line, you start at the 60-meter line, you start at the 40-meter line, and one of you, like right before the race starts, I take a crowbar to your shin and hit you, and then one person's starting at like the 85-meter line. All right, who do you think is going to win that race?
The 85 meters.
There's too many numbers. You kids couldn't hold all the numbers.
The one at the 40.
The one who's closest to the finish line is going to finish that race first, right? So that's what I mean by stratified competition. Like some places, genuinely, they're just in a better position to compete, right? So take that example back from